Hey guys, it's Friday, but it's Friday afternoon, and I don't know. I just got a little bit inspired. I was listening to some music and that, well, watching it actually, because I pull videos up on YouTube a lot on Friday, and I get into a load of music and try and find new shit and stuff I enjoy doing. Music is like, it's one of my massive tools, and you know, when you find new stuff, I love it. But anyway, I don't know if anybody knows this guy. I've been following him for quite a while now. When I started my journey, or pretty much when I started my journey, his name's David Goggins, and the guy has an amazing story. Go and check his story out. But because I'm not going to explain it all, but he's got a great story, and there's a bunch of interviews out there with him. And I just started watching this one. I haven't finished it all. I'm only about 10 minutes in. But this whole this interview is like all of a sudden started sparking some thoughts with me and kind of getting my mind going. I thought, you know what? Grab the vid, get out, start filming. Go to your spot, my normal spot. Here I am up in my. It's a good idea to get yourself a spot, by the way, guys, where you can go to and just, you know, veg out. I know I've got traffic in there in the background, but this is a nice little spot. And I ain't got my black glasses on, but anyway. So yeah, and David Goggins, if you don't know him, he's a straight shooter. He doesn't piss ball about, this guy. He tells it as it is, and I started to realise that I've done that a little bit with what I do as well at times. When you just gotta be like, you know, it's weird. It's like straightening someone a little bit. It's like sometimes you know you're talking, which I do a lot. You're like talking to the inner child of the person, because that's where the trauma's at. And then you know, sometimes you gotta be I'm not gonna say stern or nasty, not at all, but just like, you know, here it is. You know, like the work. Because, you know, David Goggins says you've got to be obsessed. And I tell you what, I became obsessed with figuring this anxiety and that out. And you've got to hit a certain point like he did. And my certain point was when I went freaking dark and suicidal. And I was like, oh shit. Because that's when it started. It's kind of scared me, because I'd never felt like that way before. It was completely different from any panic attack, anxiety, depression, anything like that. It was like depression on steroids, really. And then it was time to change. It was time to do something, and I didn't want to do therapy, and it was my wife that found my therapist. And I was looking at a whole bunch of, she would keep bringing them up on the computer, and I was like, no, because I was done with it. I was really done with it. And then Judith showed up on the screen, and she had this floppy hat on. And I looked at it, and and my wife's like, you know, she does hypnosis and everything, and I'm like, I looked at the bio a little bit, and I'm like, all right. And my wife was like, what? But then it changed. That's when life started changing. And as I saw things were there, I wanted more and more and more of it. I could have done therapy every other day. Because we got talking about some crazy subjects. I got shown about energy. I didn't know, you know, what did I know? I didn't know anything. I didn't even want to go, remember? So you've got to become obsessed with wanting to change. And it's full on. You don't give up on yourself. You don't put a band-aid over it and think it's gone away. You got to do the work. And it hurts sometimes. And I've had someone say to me this week, "Whoa, man, it can hurt." And I said, "Yeah, oh yeah, yeah, it does. But you know what? That's where the healing's at. And, you know, sometimes we have to step into something that may be scaring us, give us anxiety maybe. But there's ways of just not biting off a big chunk, just doing some work at home with it. Or I do a lot of work with writing with people as well. And, you know, it's do the work. Don't do the work, you don't move. You stay stationary. This needs movement. You got to feed it. You have to feed it. And if you feed it the wrong information, you're going to get the wrong information out. You're just going to get garbage out. And you just go down more. You know, there's many times when I've slipped. Don't get me wrong, I've slipped plenty. I still slip. I'm not no genius with this or anything like that. Yeah, so, but I'm way better. Way better. You speak to my therapist, she's like, geez. Because I just got my head down and started, and I was talking to her about things. I was going over in the office before COVID, and then just subjects, things I was reading, things I was learning, and my therapist knew, but I was like, I want to know more. And then just started following everything, Buddhism, Hindu, Taoism, looking at everything, looking at the universe instead of just me. It takes dedication, it takes hard work, and it takes going to some of those fears sometimes that may be scaring us a little bit, because it's the unknown, and the mind wants to know. The mind wants to know what's in that unknown, guys. That's why you get the anxiety going, because it starts feeding you belief systems, shit that maybe people have told you that there's no truth to it, but you're falling into it. The mind is. The subconscious mind, by the way. The conscious mind is saying, oh no, what's going on? Because you know it's there, you know something's happening. 95% of your mind is your subconscious. That's where everything is programmed. Everything that you've witnessed or came in contact with your five senses, don't forget it. It's adding things up and puts everything together. So when you say bird, it knows what it is. Boom, it knows what it is already. That's why we lose contact with things. That's why we lose contact with ourselves. Because there's so much around, like media and shit like that we fall into, and we think it's the truth, and we don't look, and then it just causes this massive emotional shit starting to build. Get in touch with yourselves, guys. It takes work, dedication, and doing the work, and stepping in sometimes into those little, kind of a little scary areas. I was definitely afraid of the phone. Believe it or not, I had a phobia with the phone. Definitely afraid. The phone would ring and my hands would start sweating. I could even look at my phone, see who it was. It could even been a mate. Crazy. But it was being forced into making a call that got me out of it. And it was how all this guidance business came in. Kind of the start of it, when my therapist called me with somebody else, and it was in the evening, and she texted me and said, can you get on the phone? And my mind had a split second of saying, oh no, but then I went, yeah, okay. That was it. And then I got into this work. Things happen for reasons, guys. Seriously. Now I'm doing video calls and things, so I don't have a phone phobia anymore. No fear of it. It took going there, and it took doing it, because I was forced into doing it. I had to make the video calls, I had to make the phone calls. That broke that. Scary at first, but you know what? Not scared of it no more. It's dedication. So thanks to David Goggins, because again, go and look him up. The guy he's got a story, and he says things straight up. Stay the course, guys. Namaste.